Now let's go over the individual elements that make up section number 1. Firstly, let's start out with the outside to inside block with the fist. Place your fist in chamber. Show me your left hand, outside to inside block with the fist. The reason why it's referred to the outside to inside block with the fist is once again because it starts away from your center line and comes towards your center line to cut it across. Outside to inside block with the fist, outside to inside block with the fist. Now I'm going to show you a small creative way of actually doing your outside to inside block with the fist that's going to assist you with the form of Ak Ka Kwon. So set your block. Now drop this hand down as you start to release this other hand as it comes behind you. And then snap the block. Same thing on this side. Drop the block down as the other hand comes out of its chamber and behind you, and then circle around. Make certain that the block hits its end point at the exact same time that your chamber is being set. Drop down, release, lock. Drop down, release, lock. Ready. 10 repetitions. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Dasit. Yasit. Ilgop. Yoro. Ahop. Yo. Now let's do a block and a deflection. A block and a deflection simply means that you're going to stop the energy and then you're going to redirect it. So if a punch was coming towards your opponent, that would be blocked, and then it's going to be redirected to expose the midsection striking points. So open up your stance, place your fist in chamber, set your block, now continue in that direction, away from the center line, down, and then raise it up. Release. 1, continue, 2. 1, continue, 2. 1, continue, 2. Now this looks very similar to an up block, but remember, you're using that range of motion as a deflection or a redirection of the energy that came towards you. So block the punch, get underneath it, raise it up. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Good job. So now let's work on the inside form strike, and the inside form strike is the inner blade of your forearm, right over here. Open your stance and launch the inside form strike. Remember that you want the center of your forearm to be consistent with your center line. And we'll do 10 repetitions. Ready, hana. Do, set, net, dasit, yasit, ilgop, yoro, ahop, yo. Now let's do the inside form strike, hitting a guide hand. And a guide hand is nothing more than setting your own personal target. So when you have your hand set out in this position with your fingertips up, that's referred to as a guide hand. So guide hand will be set, inside form strike will be set. Set, chamber, strike. Set, chamber, strike. Set, chamber, strike. Set, chamber, strike. Guide hand, set, chamber, strike. 10 repetitions. Ready, hana. Do. Set. Net. Dasit. Yasit. Ilgop. Yoro. Ahop. Yo. Good job. Now let's work on the foot sweep that's found in section number 1 in the form of Ak Ka Kwon, which is basically an inactive front sweep. The front sweep, simply place your leg right in front, knee straight, and sit on the energy on the back leg. So you want the majority of your energy to be on that back leg. Switch the leg, place it out. 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 Ready, hana. Do. Set. Net. Dasit. Yasit. Ilgop. Yoro. Ahop. Yo. Good job. Now let's combine the inactive sweep along with the inside form strike with that guide hand. Place the inactive sweep out. Same hand and foot on the guide hand, and inside form strike. So the inside form strike is going to be the short hand. Set your hand, chamber, switch the legs, strike. set the hand, chamber, switch the legs, strike. Change the hands, switch the leg, strike. And just continue to practice this motion. Don't need to move forward. Just to get the coordination. So continue to work on the coordination. Do this for as long as you need to. Remember that the center of the forearm must be consistent with the center line. No need to go fast, or if you need to go slower, make certain that you go slower so that you get the movement correctly. The most important thing is to get the movement correctly, not to go faster. Ready? So let's get ready to do it. 10 repetitions. Ready? Hana. Do. Set. Net. Dasit. Yasit. Ilgop. Yado. Ahop. Yo. Good job, guys. One of the last things that you'll need to know for section number 1 of Ak Ka Kwon is how to launch a snap side kick. Now, a snap side kick is different than a traditional thrusting side kick. The traditional thrusting side kick uses the bottom of the foot or the bottom of the heel. However, the snap side kick uses the outer blade of the foot. A good way of understanding how the correct foot positioning is to simply take one of your feet and place it onto the side if you can. Try not to stretch it too much, because those ligaments are gonna have to stretch in your ankle just a little bit. So you're gonna notice how I'm kind of walking almost like on the side of my ankle right now. I'm gonna just do the other foot, remember, on the side. And if you feel as if there's too much of a stress or pull, then pull back on it. And those ligaments will gradually stretch out. I'll just do the other leg once again. And the other leg one more time. Now, once you understand that particular foot positioning, that's going to be how you're going to be launching your snap side kick. I'm going to be using Billy right over here, I'm just using him for balance purposes. So if you have something that you can hold on to, this is probably the perfect time, because what you're really trying to make certain that you have is the correct foot positioning more so than anything else. And we want to make certain that we're not focusing on balance right now. So I'm going to be holding on to Billy. And whatever it is that you're holding on to, the foot that's furthest away from your object that you're holding, place that foot. Hold it right there. Now, once you've folded the foot on the ground just like that, lift it up. Notice how I still have the same foot positioning. Now, the snap side kick uses the hip and the knee. So you see how when my hip goes this way, my knee goes that way, and vice versa. And that's how you launch your snap side kick. And you're going to be using the heel, or the outer part of the blade. And you notice how it has this slight pendulum effect. And that's what you're looking to have. A standard thrusting side kick comes out and pushes straight outwards. This particular side kick has a pendulum effect. And I'm just going to use the other side. Do the same thing once again. Place your foot down. Now maintain that position. Lock that ankle as you lift it up. Now, the snap side kick doesn't have the same pop as a thrusting side kick, and it's not meant to be. The key word in snap side kick is snap, similar to like a front snap kick. It's meant to whip out and backwards as quickly as possible. So when you have your motion, and I'm not going to be using Billy at this time, when I have my leg, notice how it comes out and back. Same thing on this leg. Same thing. Now that we've reviewed all of the individual elements that make up section number 1 of Ak Ka Kwon, let's work on the individual steps. Ak Ka Kwon section number 1 only has 6 steps. Ak Ka Kwon is a relatively short form, but has a lot of coordinated movements. So let's get started with section number 1. Firstly, start with your feet together from a form set position. Step number 1, turn your neck sharply to the left. Turn your shoulders and your hips to the left. Drop your left hand down and back. Right hand comes up and to the left. Slight bend in your knees. Let's do that again. Step number 1, turn your neck sharply to the left. Turn your hips and your shoulders to the left. Drop your left hand down and behind you. Right hand up to the left. Slight bend in your knees. 1. Hey. 1. Hey. 1. Hey. Step number 2. Continue your left hand to go behind you and launch that outside to inside block with a fist. Your right fist will come to its chamber. set, set, set. Step number 3, continue that range of motion, circling around, and deflect the energy that came towards you into that upwards position. Right hand is going to guard against the armpit and the ribs. Left leg is going to come out of its chamber, launch a snap side kick, and then comes to a recentering position with an empty foot. Set. Continue the motion. Deflect upwards. Right hand guards the ribs and the armpit. Left leg, snap side kick, comes to a recentered position. Set. Hey. Set. Feet. Set. Feet. Step number 3. Step forward, natural step. No defined stance. Left hand comes into a block position. Right fist goes to its chamber. Set. 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 Step number 4, drop the left hand down as the right hand comes out, turning those hands into the outside to inside block, turn into the X stance. Set. 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 Step number 5, take a natural step towards your opponent, drop the right hand down as the left hand comes out, turn yourself to the X stance once again. Set. Step forward, drop the hands down, turn yourself into the X stance. Set. Step number 6, left hand comes down in a paintbrush motion, circles around to the guide hand. Left leg comes out, inactive sweep, right arm comes out into the inside forearm strike. Set. 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 Now let's break up section number 1, Ak Ka Kwon, individual form steps. Form set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be certain to practice section number 1 of Ak Ka Kwon before moving to section number 2. Remember, practice your coordinated steps, practice everything independently, and then place it all together.